Stunning white sand, blue skies, even bluer water, and some of the best jet ski races on the planet. Oh, and thousands of people packing the beach to watch it all. It can only be 4th of July weekend in Sarasota. Last year was a first for AquaCross in Sarasota, and it was a huge success, with the racers and crowds loving every minute of it. So it's really great to be back this year.
Year 2 for racing here in Sarasota. Are you excited to be back on home soil?
Oh man, I couldn't wait to come back again. And this is the highlight of the holiday weekend here in this town.
And what do you love the most about Sarasota?
Honestly, the best part, obviously the racing, but the second best thing was the block party last night. Being able to interact with all the fans coming down, the parade, the people were able to come up, touch the ski, talk with us, interact with us. We can answer some questions they had. It was way better, I think.
Eric, we're so happy to be back in Sarasota. This is the second year. Tell us what you're excited about for this weekend.
Wow, you know, it's the second year we get to race in our hometown, so we're real excited about that, and hopefully we can put on a good show for our sponsors and friends and family that are here.
And what have you enjoyed the most about this holiday weekend?
It's a great weekend, you know, just being so close to home and having people that have kind of followed our racing careers for so many years get a chance to see us in person, you know, so it's pretty special for us.
I'm really excited to be back here in Sarasota. Can't wait. The weather's going to be great. It's 4th of July weekend. It's going to be a blast.
Are you looking forward to the fireworks?
Can't wait for the fireworks. I got my son here, my wife here. We're going to all watch them together from the hotel room right on the beach.
The AquaCross Series has expanded massively over the few years that it's been going. And last year there were so many skis that sometimes there didn't seem enough water for them to race on. So over the winter they came up with the idea of creating 2 tours. The amateur tour, where riders can learn to race or just have great fun, which we'll be taking a look at a little bit later on. But the big one is the AquaCross Pro Enduro Tour. Now this is for elite riders, and there are numerous world champions competing, which makes for some awesome racing. Here's a look at what happened in Daytona Beach just a few short weeks ago.
Big water and big air, always a Daytona trademark, and this year didn't disappoint. AquaCross World Rankings leader Eric Francis, his usual gritty self, never gave up. A 7th and 2/5 in the 3 races saw him finish 4th overall. Brian Baldwin would have been disappointed with his 9th in Heat 1, because with a 2nd and 4th in the other races, a good finish in race 1 could have seen him a higher step on the podium, but he still got 3rd overall. A 3rd and 4th, and then a win in the final race saw Indonesian star Aero Aswar take a deserved 2nd. 18 times world champ Chris Mack McLuggage came to win, and that's exactly what he did. A 1st in Heat 1, a 3rd, and a 2nd in the final meant he was never off the podium. Here with Mac Attack, and we're talking about Daytona. You had some phenomenal racing in Daytona. What kept you at the front of the pack?
The boat was great. It was only about 20 minutes on the boat. We came out there and we were consistent in all 3 motos. We won the first one and did top 3 in the next 2, and that's what it takes to win.
A great AquaCross debut for Mac Attack, and he leads the table, which looks like this. Craig Warner, Eric Francis, and Brian Baldwin in 3rd, Aero Aswar in 2nd, and Mac in the position he likes best, number 1. Headed out for the very first race today here in Sarasota. Are you ready to be at the front of the pack?
I'm pretty ready because, yeah, I mean, I've been training well for the whole month, so should be good. You know, it should be an awesome race.
Here we are with Eric Francis getting ready to head out to round 1. Tell us how you're feeling headed out to the heat today.
I mean, I'm accustomed to it growing up in West Palm, so it's pretty hot over there, but we feel pretty good going into this. We changed the setup a little bit, and the ski seems to be running a lot better, so hope to keep up with them Yamahas.
If the water stays flat out there, how will you feel on your Kawi?
I definitely don't like flat water, so I mean, over here in Sarasota, it's usually got some nice chop. It's not gonna be big, but it's definitely not gonna be flat.
Oh, I feel great. I'm on a new boat. I'm on this FCR Yamaha. And the reason why I opted for this one is I saw Arrow on it at the first round, and he seemed pretty fast on it. And during the break, I had about 13 days to ride one straight in the ocean, in the Atlantic. And I felt really good on it, so I decided let's sell the other one and get a FCR or FCS. And Broward Motorsports had it in stock, and we got it. Dean prepared it, and it's running great.
Teams are headed out for race 1, so join us after the break and we'll go racing.
Introducing Ride by Yamaha. The world's first dual throttle handlebar control system, engineered to change the way you experience the water. There's only one way to ride, and it's only available on Yamaha Wave Runners. Yamaha, the #1 brand on the water.
Here comes the fun with Sea-Doo. From the affordable Sea-Doo Spark to the ultimate in comfort, luxury, and performance. Fun starts at just $51.99, including 2-year coverage. Visit Sea-Doo.com to locate a dealer near you.
Why do I race? I'm trying to win. I'm trying to beat everybody out there. It doesn't matter what class, 300, 250, 200. Anyone on the track, I'm trying to win.
Get it accomplished. I mean, what can you say? Unbeatable.
Go X Team Go and show us some love as we dominate the P1 AquaX Series this year.
Welcome back. As you can see, we're just about ready to go racing. So let's take a look at the course with our commentator, Martin Sanborn.
Thanks, Deanna. This counterclockwise race course is just over 2 miles in length. They've got a long back straightaway heading towards a slight right-hand dogleg at the south end of the race course with a big sweeping turn, and then coming back towards the start-finish line for another right-hander. As our pro enduro teams make it to the waterway, that was Eric Francis. He is currently ranked #1 in the world standings in the P1 AquaX Series. As we're now on board with Travis Velasco, as we have a green flag in heat #1, one of 3 heats here this weekend in Sarasota. And it looks like we have Chris McCluckich off to the hole shot. This is all about endurance here in AquaX. 30 minutes of racing plus 1 lap at wide open throttle here in Sarasota, as McCluckich is the first one around the pin. Taking advantage of that hole shot, he's out front. Looks like Aswar's right on his tail on the outside as everybody converges to make their way around as we go back on board with number 999, Travis Velasco. Travis riding on a Yamaha FX SVHO. Travis Alasko was virtually unbeatable last season in the 200 class as we look at our leader, Chris McCluckage. Chris is also riding on a Yamaha FX SVHO, and he's way out front right now on the back straightaway, heading towards the south end of the race course. And here's our battle for second, third, and fourth position. As we go back on board with Travis Alasko, he's running right now about 6th place. Back behind on that back straightaway, they're running just over 65 miles an hour. And you can see it is definitely rougher than it looks from a distance. As here comes our leader around the turn. This is Chris McCluckage. As with just about any form of motorsports, being out front gives you the edge. And when it comes to anything with the water, you get the clean water out front, can pick your line, and you are less susceptible to everything else going on around you in terms of boat wakes. And here's a perfect example of that as we have Klippenstein and Francis battling it out for second and third place right now as they're trying to run down McCluckage. As we go back to our leader, Chris McCluckage, out front looking strong. See him just pushing right through all those bumps. And the south end of this race course has had a consistent hole between the first and second mark. And here's Eric Francis, currently running in third position, our #1 ranked rider in the P1 AquaX Championship worldwide. And back to our race leader, Chris McCluckage. He's on that back straightaway. You can see him just perfect position, arms up, just piloting that craft, even though he's getting air off every single one of those bumps. You can see how much more work there is when you're dealing with the wakes as Baldwin makes his way around the turn. And the racer on the move is Aero Aswar. He's now moved himself into second position. He's gotten past Klippenstein, Baldwin, and Francis. The leader, Chris McCluckage, has got to have a rear view mirror full of Aero Aswar coming up on his outside from behind as he makes his way around the north end of the race course. And we go back now to Klippenstein in fourth position now after Aswar's moving his way through the pack. Mike Klippenstein currently in fourth position. Oh, and we have a problem. Chris McCluckage is down. He is down, and there goes our new leader. That is Aero Aswar now moves out into the lead. Aswar, one of the toughest competitors in the P1 AquaX Series. He and his brother from Indonesia, always tough on a race course, and he has now moved himself into the lead. As we look at our lead around the turn, here comes second place. This is Francis, followed by Baldwin. Baldwin trying to run him down. Baldwin's now to the inside of the wake as they make their way right across the beach, heading towards that start-finish line. But our new leader is Aero Aswar, here from Indonesia on a Yamaha FZR. And he is now pressing his advantage, extending his lead. On board with the number 999 Travis Alasko. Farther back in the pack than he's used to being right now, as he is making his way north along this just over 2-mile race course in Sarasota. The water getting a little bit bumpier right now. As we see Aero Aswar having to navigate some of those bumps. He's now on that back straightaway, coming up to that slight right-hand dogleg. There it is. All of these guys spend a lot of time training in ocean conditions to build up their endurance for these long motos. As Aswar pilots his craft around the south end of the race course. And here he comes around, getting ready to make that final left-hand turn, heading towards the start-finish line along the beach. Perfect control as he makes his way around that final turn. And we go back on board Travis Alasko. I love this shot. It gives you such a view of what these guys are dealing with and how much movement there is of that ski underneath them. And our third place ski, Eric Francis, the number 911, trying to work his way through the pack. Eric Francis riding a Kawasaki Ultra 310R. As we now go back to our leader, Aero Aswar, looks like he's getting ready to catch some lap traffic. He swings way wide to give himself room to get by, but he's going to capture that lap traffic on the back straightaway. Look at that overtake speed. Klippenstein in second place, but he's got a long ways to go to catch Aswar. Klippenstein in second. Third place is Francis as we go back to our leader, Aero Aswar, on the back straightaway. Aswar well out front, working his way through lap traffic. As we go back on board Travis Alasko. He has got a side-by-side battle right now. Looks like Eric Lagopoulos right alongside him. And Lagopoulos coming close to slamming the door, gave him a lane, but he had to squeeze his way in. And the white flag is out. Aero Aswar on the south end of the race course, making his final turn towards the start-finish line.
Here he comes. Checkered flag is out.
The checkered flag is out. Here comes Aero Aswar, looking for his first win of the weekend here in heat number 1. And here's our battle for second place. Klippenstein and Francis duking it out. But Klippenstein's got an edge over Francis as we look at our leader. Checkered flag is in sight for Aero Aswar. And here's the finish. The win is going to go to Aero Aswar. Works his way through the pack. Once he gets out front, never looks back, so Aswar takes the win, followed by Klippenstein, Francis, Baldwin, Warner, and Ian Tosca.
The water looked flat, but it was actually pretty choppy. How did you do getting those tight turns in the choppy water?
It was actually really choppy. On the practice lap, the orientation lap, it was pretty all right. And then once we got started racing, it's just the chop went up to like about 2 feet. So I think, yeah, I mean, it's a decent race, but I think I did pretty good.
In the rankings, you currently sit second overall. We're going to see you at the top of the podium this weekend?
I hope so. We'll see about that one. I'm not. Fingers crossed, if everything goes well to plan, I like to be at the top spot.
Just finished the very first heat of the day here in Sarasota. You did some great racing and placed second. How did you feel out there?
You know, felt really good on the Dean's team, Factory Yamaha, worked excellent. It was super rough out there. It doesn't look rough, but it was just real choppy, and like the waves were going all kinds of different direction. I think we had like 25 riders or whatever we had out there, so had a really good start, and you know, went from there. This kind of water, Yamaha, they're super fast, and you just got to stay on. There's a few people fell off out there. Some people went the wrong way, so you know, experience counts for a lot. You got to be smart and just ride the race.
Will we see you leading the pack in the next race?
I hope so. You know, Team Dean's, all the boats are the same, so it's whoever gets the best start. You got to be really focused on that start when that green flag drops. You got to be on it.
From wild natural beauty to exotic tropical paradise, there's nothing like golf in Florida. With 1,100 courses to discover, from friendly wide fairways to professional challenging tour courses, where winter never means a day away from the tee and sun is served daily. We invite you to share in the history and wonder that make Florida the world's premier golfing destination. Experience Florida golf today. Visit FLAsports.com and get your Play Florida Golf Guide.
Introducing the most powerful jet ski watercraft ever built. The Jet Ski Ultra 310 series. Now available with Jet Sound Audio. The game changer. The original. The most powerful jet ski watercraft in the world. Just got more powerful.
Welcome back to the beautiful Lido Beach here in Sarasota, where the fans are enjoying all the racing this weekend on the beach and here in the water. Will Aero Aswar do it again in heat number 2?
Well, that is the question. Is Aswar going to be able to repeat here in heat number 2 in Sarasota as the teams all line up? We're on board with Travis Velasco. This is the second moto of 3 here in Sarasota. 30-minute heat plus 1 lap. So it is all about endurance, and we have a green flag. They are underway. And it looks like Jason Russo on the Geico boat is going to get the whole shot on the number 77. But here comes the fleet as we go on board Eric Lagopoulos. And there's that view looking back from Eric's ski as we go on board with Travis Velasco, riding a Yamaha.
Out front right now.
You say Russo in the center there, and that is Aswar on the inside. On board Travis Velasco, he is now caught up in some sloppy traffic. Makes it that much harder to get around the course. On board Eric Lagopoulos, he's also in traffic. Lagopoulos making his way to the north. As we move to the front of the pack, and it's Aswar has now moved ahead of Russo. And Aswar has that inside line as we go back on board with Travis Velasco. You see how close he got to that turn, but he is riding in sloppy water, a lot more work. Russo dropping back, he lets himself go wide. That's costing him position. He's now back to 5th as we're back on board with Travis Velasco. And now McCluckage gets by Russo. McCluckage solved his problem from the first heat. And here's Eric Francis. He's now made the north end turn, heading south on the long straightaway. Back on board with Travis Velasco in that bumpy water. But look at the battle between Francis and Klippenstein. Francis coming up behind, trying to reel him in. Klippenstein on the inside, Francis on the outside. Francis trying to make a move. He accelerates past. He's now side by side. Francis just noses ahead as we go back on board with Aswar, who is out front. And we're on board with Lagopoulos as he makes that slight dog leg on the back straightaway. You can see it's considerably bumpier in this heat.
Yes, here comes Aero
and out
Aswar.
front is Aero Aswar, picking up where he left off in the last moto. Here in the Pro Enduro category of P1 AquaX.
Second one is
Aero Aswar out front.
Got a side-by-side.
He is so entertaining to watch, just in perfect control of that ski at all times as Lagopoulos tags the buoy going by as he now heads north. As Baldwin, McCluckage, and Francis continue to battle.
But it looked like Clipper moved himself.
Again, Aswar is just so composed on that ski.
On the inside lane.
See the ski popping up and he absorbing that shock as Baldwin, currently in 3rd position, had that inside lane with Francis and McCluckage duking it out. The 3 of them all within a second of each other as we see McCluckage at the bottom of our screen. And we're back on board with Eric Lagopoulos. And there is Eric Francis. Only a couple skis between him and the leader as we look at Chris McCluckage, currently in 4th place. With Baldwin on the inside, currently running in 3rd. McCluckage trying to make a move. He's way to the outside as they make their way around the north end of the race course. As we take a look at Brian Baldwin. And we go back on board with Travis Velasco. And Baldwin has now moved to the outside. McCluckage coming up hard on the inside as they make their way south. Baldwin will have the inside edge at that slight right-hand dogleg, but McCluckich is on the outside for the big sweeper at the south end of the course. Baldwin now trying to set his sights on the ski ahead of him, which looks like Francis.
But we didn't get a lot of wind pickup this afternoon, so it hasn't
as he's
really
the
gotten
outside
a whole
edge. Now
lot
he goes to
worse
the inside line
than it was this morning.
of that wake as we go back on board with Lagopoulos. Eric Francis currently running in second place. He's got some lap traffic between him and the leader, Aero Aswar. Francis ranked #1 in the world in P1 AquaX, but he's got Klippenstein nipping at his heels for that title. As here comes Baldwin trying to move in on Eric Francis. Baldwin has the inside line. As we go back on board Travis Alasko. We had a stopped ski in the middle of there. That looked like Russo. As Francis continues to run in second place, trying to hold off Brian Baldwin. And we're back on board with Eric Lagopoulos. And we see our fleet as they move to the north, looking at Lido Beach here in Sarasota, Florida. And we're back on board with Travis Alasko. And there is our leader, Aero Aswar. He won the first heat. He's now out front in this heat with Francis and Baldwin on his tail. And our leaders have nearly lapped the entire fleet here in this second moto. Aero Aswar way out front right now as we look at Baldwin, currently running in third place. And back to Aero Aswar. Here's where that conditioning pays off. Spending so much time in the surf.
No change of position.
Just absolutely in perfect control of that ski as we go back on board with Travis Alasko. Again, you can see just how rough that water is and how much manhandling they have to do with the ski. As we look at Brian Baldwin, the number 502, currently running in third place. As Aswar getting ready to put another skier down a lap as he works his way through the pack.
Aero Aswar is out front. Francis is in second. Third place is Baldwin, a 7-second.
Aswar working his way past lap traffic at speeds approaching 70 miles an hour as we look at our second place ski. That is Francis, and the ski just coming around the turn behind him was Baldwin. Every one of those bumps, he's clearing 5 or 6 ski lengths. And we're back on board with Travis Alasko. Here's Aero Aswar's view from the front. Look at how much nicer that water looks when you're out front as we look at Brian Baldwin currently running in third place, trying to run down Eric Francis. And that's Francis's wake just ahead of Brian Baldwin. Zalasko is still picking great lines around the race course, even though he's running in sloppy water. As we look at Eric Francis, currently running in second position, with Baldwin right on his tail. And the white flag is now out. We're on the final lap in this second moto in the Pro Enduro. And out front is Aero Aswar, looking for his second win of the weekend, as Aswar now racing toward the checkered flag. And there it is. Aswar takes his second win of the weekend here in Sarasota. You'd never know that he's just run a solid hour of hard racing, but he takes the win. Aswar out front, Eric Francis in second, Brian Baldwin in third, followed by Warner, Klippenstein, and Lagopoulos.
Aero phenomenal racing out there, stayed way in front of the pack, lapping people left and right. How did you do it?
Trying to be consistent, try to read the waves and get a better angles on to catch the lappers. So yeah, it's pretty good.
did a phenomenal job out there, staying at the very top, but you came in second for this race. How did it feel on the water?
Oh, I mean, it was a little bit rougher than this morning, but the way the ski handles it was actually easier to ride than the first moto, so a lot easier to keep a higher pace, and it worked out. We ended up second.
Felt really good. You know, the conditions are pretty tough, but you know, we're just trying to stay on the ski and, you know, ride a smart race. You can't win if you're swimming, so it was good though.
Of course. Now, when it's a little bit choppy, how does that feel on the turn?
The turns, not so much. You know, it's more about, you know, just picking a good line, you know, and carrying speed.
The racers are headed back to the pits, and we've had a great day of racing. Join us after the break, and we'll see if Aero can make it 3 out of 3.
Sing the sky so blue, birds are singing, I got nothing to do. Hey, 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 hey. It's a sunny day. Sunny day now. My pocket's empty, my cupboard's bare. Call me illogical, I just don't care. Hey, 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 hey. It's just a sunny day. It's just a sunny day.
Vacation in color. Visit Sarasota.
Here comes the fun with Sea-Doo. From the affordable Sea-Doo Spark to the ultimate in comfort, luxury, and performance. Fun starts at just $51.99, including 2-year coverage. Visit Sea-Doo.com to locate a dealer near you.
Why do I race? I'm trying to win. I'm trying to beat everybody out there. It doesn't matter what class, 300, 250, 200. Anyone on the track, I'm trying to win.
Get the Gothos. I mean, what can you say? Unbeatable.
Go X Team Go and show us some love as we dominate the P1 AquaX Series this year.
Welcome back to Sarasota, where the AquaX guys and girls are getting set to go once again today. We saw 2 great races yesterday. There's 1 still to go today. And yesterday, Deanna, it was some usual suspects running at the front.
That's right. We had Aero Aswar taking the very lead in both of the first races. And then we had Eric Francis, who was loving that choppy water and also leading in the pack.
And he got himself a 2nd and a 3rd place. So I think this weekend, as we look at our one race today, it's going to be between those 2 guys, really.
I think so.
And just give us a quick word on the weekend here. It's 4th of July weekend. The weather's fantastic and the beaches are packed.
Packed with people, yes. Lots of people loving the racing and enjoying the holiday weekend.
Great stuff. But of course, this weekend isn't just about the pro enduro class. There's also the amateur class. Now, this is the feeder class, and they've been having a whole lot of fun too. Here's Martin with the update.
Don't let the term amateur confuse you. These are aggressive racers. This category broken down into 200s, 250s, and 300s. Men and women out there competing for glory in each of the classes. In heat number 1, the win went to 927 Jennifer Nolan in the 200 class, Tommy Allswang in the 250 class, and Enrique Chia in the 300 class. In Enduro number 2, Jennifer Nolan again takes the win in the 200 class. Tommy Allswang in the number 219 takes race number 2 in the 250s, and Chris Saxon in the 300s. In the final Enduro for the amateur race, Jennifer Nolan once again sweeping, taking the win in the 200 class, followed by Daniel Steele winning the 200 class championship. Tommy Allswang wins race number 3 in the 250s and also wins the championship. And in the 300 class, Enrique Chia takes the top position here in Sarasota, but the championship goes to number 71, Chris Saxon, in the 300s. Let's take a look at the results for the Sarasota event. Chris Saxon takes the top podium position with Barilla in second and Chia in third in the 300s. Allswang takes the top position in the 250s with Wassam and Sullivan. And Nolan, Diaz, and Steele round out the podium for the 200s. And for the championship, Chris Saxon takes the win overall in 300s. Tommy Allswang in the 250s and Daniel Steele in the 200s.
Here with Saxon, and you won the weekend, also the championship.
Yes, ma'am. It was a great feeling. Tried to race smart, stay on the ski. Conditions varied from day to day, but just tried to keep up with the conditions in the ski and come out on top.
All right, we just got official word you won for the 250 class for the weekend. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Racing was really fun today. Got a little choppy. It was fun, nice. It's better than the flat lake. This is a lot funner to go in the ocean. You know, it's much better.
Now you're racing so strong. What does the future hold?
Well, this will be my last race in the 250 class. Turning pro for the Lake Worth race and Fort Lauderdale, and we'll see how it goes from there.
Very exciting news. Congratulations. Can't wait to see you up with the big boys. Champion of the 200 class, how are you feeling right now?
Pretty good. I mean, just won the championship, and it was a long, hard weekend.
Now looking forward and looking ahead, how will you prepare for the next race?
Yeah, I don't even know if I'm going to do another race. This might be the last one.
Are you looking to step up into another class, perhaps?
No, this might just be it. My sponsor, Greater Motorsports, I've been there 20 years. They're calling it quits after all these years, so this might be the last time.
Well, you finished very strong this weekend, and we're really proud of you, so great racing.
Thank you.
Well, that was the amateurs, but now it's time for the big boys, our pros, for the last race of the weekend. Let's get to the action.
And the skis are making their way to the race course for the final heat of the weekend here in Sarasota, Florida. Here's Travis Alasko's view as the teams all line up. On board with Eric Francis. Right now, he is aware that Mike Kliffenstein is right on his heels to take away that top-ranked position, and we have a green flag. We are underway. And it looks like the number 46 of Chris McCluckich off to a good hole shot. As we look on board Travis Alasko, just off to his left is Jason Russo on the Geico machine. But Chris McCluckich out front making his way towards turn one. Aswar on the inside, currently running in second place, but McCluckich out front. He's way to the outside for that coming left-hand turn. He's got to work his way across the fleet as we take a look at Eric Francis. There you can see Travis's view. He's right in the middle of the pack. Going to get squeezed as he comes up to that turn. And he has to swing wide and go deep, but holds himself in third position. On the inside is Aero Aswar. Warner, Francis, Zalasko, Aswar all tied up as they all cleanly get through the north end turns. We've got Zalasko, Warner, and Snyder in a battle for second place. Zalasko got squeezed but did a good job working his way through. He's on the outside. Warner on the inside, just inching slightly past Snyder. Here's our vantage point from Zalasko. He's on the extreme outside right now as they make their way on that back straightaway. Here's that battle. Snyder had a slight edge over Warner as he just inches past, but there goes Warner pulling as we go on board with Eric Lagopoulos. Back to our battle for second place. Warner on the inside, Snyder in the middle. Zalasko driving by on the outside, and he squeezes Snyder. That pushes Snyder back, giving him nowhere to go. Now it's Zalasko and Warner side by side, and you can see Aero Aswar working his way into the mix as well. This is a heads-up battle for second place as we're on board with Travis Zalasko around the south end of the course. On the inside, it is Warner. Aswar now works his way hard on the inside. Zalasko on the outside, currently running in fourth position.
Zalasko's in fourth. Snyder's in 5th. And then here comes Clipper. Clipper's the one that's trying to get him.
And here's the battle right now between McCluckage and Aswar. Zalasko trying to hold on to that position. He's up in the top of the pack. As Aswar now trying to get past Warner. Warner holding onto that inside lane, just an edge over Aero Aswar. And Aswar driving by on the outside, trying to move into second position. Warner, Aswar, and Zalasko all close in that battle for second, third, and fourth, but Warner holds on to it going into the south end turn. He's got the inside edge. Aswar on the outside as we go back to Chris McCluckage, way out front right now, our leader in the Pro Enduros. Aswar coming up on the outside of Warner. Warner holding his line, but here goes Aswar. Warner sees him coming as he goes by and just hammers the throttle as they go around the right-hand dogleg. They're on the outside straightaway heading south. Warner has that inside line, but Aswar now has him by a couple of boat lengths as they head into the south end corner. And Aswar closes the door on him. Warner has to slide hard to the inside of his wake. But Aswar now in control, and he is solidly in second place, making his way around the south end of the corner. And again, Warner gets squeezed right into the pin. As Aswar currently in second place, followed by Warner in third. And Aswar opens up his margin, now setting his sights on Chris McCluckage.
4th, 5th, and 6th position.
Our race leader after a great hole shot. McCluckage had a tough start in the first heat, was well out front, had a mechanical problem, got himself back out into the game for the second heat, and he is now out front in the final heat of the weekend. As we take a look at Eric Lagopoulos.
They're going to get their racing out of the way early.
Lagopoulos working his way through the pack as we go on board.
Helicopter just
get a look at his vantage point. As he comes up on the north end turn. Aero Aswar currently in second position, but leading in points overall for the weekend. As we take a look at Eric Francis. Francis back a little bit farther in this moto. Not where he wants to be. Taking a look at Brian Baldwin, number 502, riding on a Yamaha. Aswar holding on to his second place position, trying to run down McCluckage. Zalasko just rounds that right-hand dogleg on the back straightaway as they head towards the south end of the race course. Some storm clouds rolling in. Potentially could bump this up before the end of this moto. As we look at the battle for 5th place between Klippenstein and Zalasko. Zalasko dropping back a little bit as Klippenstein is trying to get past. Klippenstein just trying to hold his position ahead of Eric Francis. He is the one that has the potential to take away that number 1 ranking. Mike Klippenstein is now up alongside Zalasko.
By the time they get to the start-finish line.
See if he can get him.
Unless Zalasko looks over.
Eric Francis can only watch it from behind as he tries to close the gap. Klippenstein goes wide. Zalasko holds that good inside line. That on board with Travis Zalasko. And we go back to our second place ski. Aero Aswar. And our race leader, Chris McCluckage. This moto, our speeds have definitely stepped up. Skis running upwards of 70 miles an hour on this race course. As Aswar makes his way around. Currently about 100 yards behind the leader. But once he gets clean water, he is always tough. Looking at Craig Warner, currently running in 3rd place. Behind Aero Aswar, in 4th position is Brian Baldwin. go back on board with Eric Francis. And here is Mike Klippenstein, currently running in 5th position behind Baldwin. Klippenstein trying to advance his position because he is trying to take away that #1 in the world ranking from this ski, Eric Francis. As we look at Travis Velasco,
worldwide, it is now up. We head back
and we go on board with Eric Lagopoulos. Back to our leader, Chris McCluckage. Oh, he hits a bump. Oh, he had a problem. Looks like he might have pulled the kill switch. That lanyard came off. He is now off plane. Let's take a look at that again. He hits a good bump, gets a little out of position on his ski, and it looks like he may very well have pulled that kill switch. That's going to be a problem because he's got Aswar coming up hard from behind, but he's immediately back up on plane again. Great control. It looked like he was about to go swimming and managed to stay on the ski, and now you can see that margin has dramatically diminished as Aswar is now closing in on McCluckage. That one little bobble, you can go from 0 to 0 in a second in this class. McCluckage out front, trying to hold off a charging Aswar.
It's about the skill. So put your checkbook
as we watch our first and second place skis crossing the start-finish line, heading towards the north end turn. Out front, Chris McCluckage on a Yamaha with Aero Aswar here from Indonesia, also riding on a Yamaha, trying to close in on him. About 30 yards behind. McCluckage out front. Had a slight bobble there, cost him some time, but he manages to hold on to the lead as he makes his way around the final north end turn. Now heading on that long southbound straightaway, but Aswar closing the gap. Aswar now within 8 boat lengths as they make their way south. Aswar on the inside. And here you can see how he did it, getting around some lap traffic. Aswar was on the outside. Picked a great line, and he is now challenging for the lead. As McCluckage on the inside, Aswar on the outside, but they're coming up on lap traffic and the right-hand dogleg on the back straightaway.
Well represented here. The U.S.
Both riders navigate through traffic beautifully. But here is our leader, and the checkered flag should be out for Chris McCluckage to take his first win of the weekend here in Sarasota. They are on their white flag lap. And here it is, the checkered flag goes to Chris McCluckage, taking the win here in Sarasota. So the win in the final moto goes to Chris McCluckage, followed by Aero Aswar, Warner, Baldwin, Klippenstein, and Francis. And here's how it shakes out for the weekend. The top podium position goes to Aero Aswar. Second place goes to Eric Francis. Third place to Brian Baldwin, followed by Klippenstein, Warner, and Lagopoulos.
Chris, some strong racing, and you were staying out in front today. What made the difference in the race today?
What made the difference is today we were able to go all the laps, do the complete 25 minutes. We had a little, we had a new boat, and it was just a flaw in a part that we had in there, and it was a freak accident, and unfortunately it happened to me. And it's cool to be back in Florida. I didn't get the result overall that I wanted, but I won the last battle, and you're only as good as your last race, and my last race I got first, so I'm very happy with that.
You had some great racing out there, really strong, staying fast. How did you feel?
Feel great, top spot, so yeah, it's been awesome.
How did you stay so fast all weekend?
Trained a lot. Yeah, I train 6 days a week, all gym and rides, so yeah, it's good.
So what made the difference today in the race?
Just kind of the start. It's flat water, and it's kind of follow the leader out there. There's not a lot of passing. You don't have any area to do it because there's not very many turns. So it's just get a good start and never let off the gas the whole time, and just try to keep smooth water in front of us and try to chase down the guy in front.
With Sarasota in the books, here's where we stand for the 2016 championship. Aswar out front, Baldwin in second, followed by Francis, Warner, Klippenstein, and McCluckich.
Well, how about that for a fantastic weekend's racing here in Sarasota? And I tell you what, Deanna, number 119, Arrow Aswar, boy, he raced well all weekend.
Absolutely, leading the pack, and he got 2 out of 3 races.
Top step of the podium for him in hot conditions, and it was a great party. But I understand for you Americans, the party's not over yet.
That's right. Happy 4th of July.
When P1 is in Sarasota, they choose to stay at an Ocean Properties resort.
Introducing Ride by Yamaha. The world's first dual throttle handlebar control system, engineered to change the way you experience the water. There's only one way to ride, and it's only available on Yamaha Wave Runners. Yamaha, the #1 brand on the water.
Why do I race? I'm trying to win. I'm trying to beat everybody out there. Doesn't matter what class, 300, 250, 200. Anyone on the track, I'm trying to win.
Get the Gothas. I mean, what can you say? Unbeatable.
Go X Team Go and show us some love as we dominate the P1 AquaX Pro Series this year.